reuniting with heroes in Broward County.
When I arrived on scene, I saw the two neighbors. They were performing the initial CPR.
After a baby is saved. A man trying to enter the CIA building heavily armed.
You know, the see something, say something.
After traveling to D.C. from the Sunshine State. And homecoming for the Heat. Just not the kind of fans we're hoping for. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Hawa Ezel.
I'm Lauren Wirtz. Today is Friday, May 26, 2023.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Race against time as a South Florida parent's nightmare is met with heroics. Coral Spring parents are feeling grateful this morning knowing their 2-year-old son was saved from drowning.
As the network's Brian Lopez reports, they had recently a touching reunion with his rescuers.
Hello? Hello? My baby is unresponsive. What can we do?
Coral Springs parents were able to embrace the first responders who saved their 2-year-old son from drowning, and it was a touching reunion marked by cries of gratitude. On April 4, Jesus Taveras Jr. was discovered unconscious in a canal behind his family's home, and the tragedy was heartbreaking. Coral Springs Fire Rescue and police units were at the area right away. Coral Springs police officer Hakeem Rainey was seen performing CPR on the toddler in a video taken by a police body camera. The child's mother, Solange Concepcion, said the child vanished.
While I was, getting everything out of the car, I grabbed my baby and I went inside the house and gave my son to my husband. I come out, my son is usually, running around, talking, and I just hear like a moment of silence. And I go to the living room and I'm like, ask my husband, where's the baby? I don't hear him. He's like, oh, but he ran after you. And so immediately I ran out the door. I started screaming his name, and that's when I came back to the front and ran to my neighbors and rang their doorbell, and they immediately went back there and she screamed, and I ran as fast as I could to go get and see my son.
The young child was discovered in the water by a neighbor who gave CPR until Rainey came.
I saw the two neighbors. They were performing the initial CPR. Once I picked up CPR, all I can see, was my child on the ground, and I was thinking to myself, hey, I have, to save this kid. Since there's a lot of water in his lungs, maybe if I do back thrust, that maybe I lean him forward and the water is able to come out, which gives a better chance of survival.
Thank God. I mean, I know obviously you guys saw the video, and I was just saying, please God, let this not be the day that, something so tragic like that happened. I want to thank from the bottom of my heart each and every one of you.
I'm Brian Lopez reporting, Kaplan News.
Usual weather in South Florida came with a twist. Yesterday, a small funnel was spotted near South Miami Heights neighborhood. Only one person reported injured. Multiple calls have been received from the National Weather Service. Turns out it was a short-lived tornado that was formed by the thunderstorms in the area.
Fire rescue saved a homeless man in North Florida after taking shelter in a dumpster and being thrown in a trash compactor. It was Wednesday near Pensacola. Officials say he is lucky to be alive after the compactor was activated with the homeless man inside. The Escambia County Fire Battalion took the man to the hospital to be treated, but did not release any information on his condition.
Obstruction might be the newest situation to develop after the Washington Post reported 2 of Donald Trump's employees moved boxes of classified papers last year at his Mar-a-Lago residence. Just one day before the Justice Department came in to retrieve documents classified in May of 2022, employees shifted the boxes in a dress rehearsal, according to the report. The lawyer of one of the employees claims the client did not know what was in the boxes as the investigation moves forward. Trump is still expected to run for the 2024 presidential election.
Police near D.C. stop a Florida man from approaching the CIA building with an assault rifle in his possessions. As the network's Aiden Chacon reports, the call for help came from a nearby preschool.
Police arrested a Florida man and seized 2 firearms from his vehicle in Virginia while he was trespassing at a preschool.
Our officers searched that car and they uncovered an AK-47 and a pistol along with some magazines and some ammunition.
We're on the topic of Mental Health Awareness Month this morning. The network's Valeria Olmos takes a look at the positive effects of exercise for your well-being.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Depression, anxiety, and stress cannot be factors to this, but it cannot be worked out through exercise. Today, we had the opportunity to speak to a psychologist, a gym owner, a sports performance coach, and his athletes on how mental health can be bettered by exercise. Performance and resilience psychologist Glenn Whitney gives us an introduction to the role of exercise in our mental health.
The link between exercise and mental health is extremely strong, and we're learning how important it is to have a regular exercise regime in order to be mentally healthy. It hasn't been as well known until recently. For the most part, we are seeing increasingly that exercise is actually the most important mental health intervention. Exercise is showing itself to be more effective than psychiatric medication and talk therapy.
Working out helps release a lot of tension and anxiety, as well as boost our dopamine levels. Health professionals and athletes alike show how important it is to take care of your mental health through healthy coping mechanisms and habits.
I feel like the aspect of coming in and having the weight room open to them to come in and training and letting go of some stuff, it's a good de-stressor, but also helps clear your mind. So I think it's a very good tool for them to have an outlet to release any type of stress, any type of anxiety that may be going through. It's a coping mechanism.
Veteran and gym owner Ahmed Al-Bayari describes his own struggle with mental health and how exercise helped him and his trainees cope with anxiety and depression.
So, coming from Iraq and living in the war, we struggled a lot with mental health, and exercise helped me a lot to find what I lost during the war. With other athletes, vets, and law enforcement guys, that I see improvement in their mental health through exercise.
Exercise builds a routine that's structured through discipline and drive, which creates skills that you could use in your everyday life.
Skills I gained from exercising that taught me to be better with my mental health. Honestly, it's just consistency. Like, I struggle with depression, and honestly, you're not going to want to get up every day. But it's just having the discipline to get up and do it. That discipline of going to the gym every day, or getting up, journaling, praying, whatever it is, it's going to cause that motivation to go up.
All in all, working out your problems will lead to long-term results in your mental health journey. I'm Valeria Olmos for South Florida Media Network.
Even though it's half a world away, Korean popular music is finding a home here in South Florida. The network Cindy Claros has your ticket to Miami K-Pop Night.
As K-pop continues to grow and fans create more events, join me at Miami K-Pop Night, where you can eat, drink, and dance. Let's check it out. Miami K-Pop Night hosts events monthly at the Corner Miami, where fans and community members come together and enjoy a night filled with Korean culture. Nick Robin hopes hosting these events will create an all-inclusive atmosphere.
I think just having the space that's here at the Corner and also other spaces in the future, just creating that atmosphere and that space for those communities to come together and show off off what they have to each other, it'll just naturally happen.
Miami K-Pop Night showcases local DJs, performances, foods, and store vendors at these events.
There's no judgment of who belongs to what fandom, who likes which group, what group sells more like this, like nothing of that matters here. I think it's exhilarating to DJ, especially like with a crowd as well received as this one. Like there's nothing, it's like if I was every member that came out every time I put a song, I turned into them.
For more information on K-pop events just like this one, please check out their Instagram at Miami K-Pop Night. This is Cindy Claros, Halfly News.
The Marlins try to earn a series split out in Colorado.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Boston has lost 5 of the last 7 playoff games at home, but they've controlled since the beginning. Tatum.
The Miami Heat entered Game 5 needing only one more win to make it to the NBA Finals. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Win or lose, the Heat players find themselves on the brink of history, either to make it to the finals as an 8 seed or be the only team to ever blow a 3-0 series lead. Last night, the Miami Heat struggled to close out the Boston Celtics for the 2nd consecutive game.
The Celtics are heading back to the Kaseya Center after keeping their season alive with a win at the TD Garden Thursday night. Boston erupted to a double-digit lead early in the first half despite Miami's attempts to make it an even ball game. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 42 points to freeze the Heat in the second half. The Celtics survived with a final score of Boston 110, Heat 97. Miami looks to lock in their trip to the NBA Finals versus the Denver Nuggets at home on Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
It seemed to just be a bad day for Miami sports, as the Miami Marlins also couldn't reel in a win against the Colorado Rockies. It was a good start for the Fish as they were up in the 4th inning and towards the final 8th and 9th. Both teams had 4 runs, but the Rockies made just one more that ended the game. The final score was Marlins 6, Rockies 7. The Marlins headed over to the West Coast where they'll play the Los Angeles Angels today at 9:40 p.m. We're coming right back.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Lauren Wirtz.
I'm Halwa Ezel. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.